Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that a lot of ladies had questions on. I've done a similar topic before in the past where I believe the title of the video was use his money to invest into your future or something like that. I think it was like use his money to invest into your own future. And a lot of ladies had questions about this process. And I want to talk to you about the process, and I want to talk to you also about the concept behind this and how it really fits into level up and also upscale dating and leveled up dating experiences. I want to kind of talk to you about how to utilize this. Okay. So, especially for our very young ladies, young and beautiful. I mean, I'm youngish, but y'all, I'm getting to auntie stage. So, this is really like some game for y'all. Okay. This is some game for the younger ladies, especially, although clearly I'm doing it. So, um, if you're in your late 30s, mid 40s, late 40s, you can still do this. Okay. You just have to go older, but this is available to anybody that's willing to do the work. And maybe I'll do a side note about that too. About, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I've seen, and I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. And I've done it too. I've done this where I'm like, oh my gosh, these women are coming into the dating pool and they're going to mess everything up. And, I have my doomsday too, my doomsday thoughts. And I've seen some women now that like Sheer is all over TikTok and there's a lot of new ladies coming into the fold. Um, there's a lot of new ladies coming into the fold and going about like they're going about this process without any finesse at all, without any type of experience. So they're kind of trying to do the most with the least, and they're trying to skip a lot of steps and just get to, I don't know where they're trying to go. They don't even know where they're going. They don't even have a plan. They don't have a plan. They don't have a goal. They don't have a mission. I guess they want trinkets and experiences, and anyway, there's a long story there. But you know what, ladies, don't worry about it. Um, that's like people who are, advanced degree holders worrying about people infiltrating their field, or people that it takes a long time to get their degree, and they're worried about, oh, there's going to be an influx of doctors, there's going to be an influx of 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 this, or going to be an influx of geological engineers. Yeah, it might be more interesting to people to start the process, but you know good and well that it takes years and years to get where you are. So there isn't going to be very many people that can walk off the street and take your spot, because it took you a long time to get there, and you've been leveling up consistently over however long you've been doing it. So don't worry about people coming and walking off the street and taking your spot, because although they may covet where you are and they may admire where you are, they have not put in the work. They have not put in the refinement. They have not put in the level up. They have not put in the finesse. They have not put in the mouthpiece game. They have not put in the elegance. They have not been putting in the poise. They haven't been putting in the etiquette. They haven't been putting in the social climbing. They haven't been putting in the style. They haven't been putting in, they just haven't been doing all of that. I mean, they let's be honest, ladies, okay? They watched a few TikTok videos and that's it. A lot of these ladies won't even consume longer formed content. They won't even consume it. They won't sit for a 30-minute video. They won't sit for a 20-minute training. They won't sit down for 2-hour mastermind, which is what a lot of my shit on my channel is, okay? Y'all are getting masterminds for free over here, okay? They are not going to A lot of women are not going to sit down for that. They're not. They're not going to um practice. They may like haphazardly like go out and quote unquote attempt to freestyle, but this is not easy work. And I guess this is definitely in alignment with this video, because I'm going to be talking to you about how to use his money to level up. This is not for the majority of newcomers, or this is not necessarily for people who are just on the journey, just starting, rather. This is for women who have been at it for a while and are ready to move to the next level, or, that's really what the information is for. I mean, sure, it's for the newbie too, because you're going to eventually get there. And if you're exceptionally beautiful and um, charming and or charismatic and or alluring and or um, captivating. I mean, yeah, you might skip a bunch of steps, but come on, isn't that true in every single field? Aren't some people just exceptionally talented, right? Aren't some people exceptionally gifted in some areas? And isn't that across the board in every single area of life? But even the people who have a natural propensity to do something well, they still have to practice if they want to dominate in that, in whatever their field is. And so even women who are already exceptionally beautiful, already inherently graceful and captivating, they could still use refinement and level up. You just will probably just be extremely talented and get there quicker. Anyway, there's room for everyone. Okay, there's room for all women who want to do the work, who want to walk the path. And when I say work, I mean that in the slightest of ways. Yes, it is hard work, but of course, we're not like carrying bricks from one side of, you know, a work site to the other. So it's not that kind of heavy lifting. But the type of heavy lifting that you're really doing is unleashing and unburdening yourself of the internal sort of burden of like um, struggle of or lack of boundaries, not knowing who you are, not knowing why you're on the planet, not knowing what your birthright is, and the work of indoctrinating yourself with self-worth and indoctrinating yourself with inherent sense of value and instilling in yourself poise and instilling in yourself respect, respecting yourself, respecting your own time. When you respect yourself and you respect your own time, you move intentionally. You are intentional about where you are. You're intentional about who you spend your time with. You're intentional about how you expand your mind. You're intentional about how you expand your network. You are intentional about the environment that you curate around you and the community that you cultivate around you. All of that is intentional. Um, None of it is. Hopefully, that was recording. My screen was doing something weird. Yeah, as I was saying, all of it is intentional, and all of it is put together with thought and with intention. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, when you see people succeeding in life, and when I'm speaking in particular about the level up ladies, the ladies who are leveled up and who are just having access to a fabulous lifestyle from various means. And Black women are really doing very well with like entrepreneurship and like career. So I'm not here to really school you on entrepreneurship and career. This is not really a career channel. We talk a little bit about it. This is not an entrepreneurship channel. We talk a little bit about it. But Black women are dominating in career in entrepreneurship. So and education. So that's not why I'm here. I'm here because Black women continue to lag behind in relationships. Okay, that's why I'm here. Um, Black women are still, the gap is still very wide when it comes to um, partnering and relating with men who bring value to our lives. We are usually usually the whole shebang with what we're bringing to others, but then we're not really getting that back, or we're not really going out after that, but for a whole host of reasons. And so that's why I'm here. That's why my channel is here. I'm that's like what my contribution is to this whole mix. Because we know that some people will kind of like, a little kind of like look down upon what we're doing over here, may have all kinds of criticisms or say that we don't really care about, oh, what about education? What about career? And you can do all, like, I've never discouraged anyone from pursuing a career or business. Clearly, I mean, I've never discouraged that. But just because you're pursuing your career or you're dominating your career doesn't mean that you shouldn't be um, entering into relationships with men that are beneficial to you. One does not cancel out the other. And in fact, if you want to protect your assets, if you want to protect your mental well-being, if you want to protect your physical well-being, if you want to protect your future earning potential and station in life and trajectory in life, it would be of the most importance to only deal with men or a man or men, however way you want to do it, that bring value to your life. Okay, one only helps the other. They both help each other out, you see. Um, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about using his money to level up to the next one. Now, when it comes to dating, there's a lot of fantasy thinking like, um, oh, I'm going to find the one. And I still see women putting so much energy into finding the one on the first time or the first time you like someone and the first time someone likes you and you think, oh, well, he said he wanted a serious relationship. I want a serious relationship. So here we go. I'm done. I'm going to be exclusive with this guy. Please check out my video. Please refer to my video on exclusivity is expensive. Okay. Please refer to that video. It's very important. It's a very important concept to understand and internalize how expensive exclusivity should cost men. It should cost them a lot to make you stop dating others. Okay. So that's kind of like a fantasy thinking. So I want to kind of pull you down to reality. The reality is this: most men roam around the world collecting experiences with women for a variety of reasons. They like variety, it's fun, they like novelty, they get bored, they're looking for the one, or they have absolutely no intentions of settling down. Maybe they're focused on something else. Maybe they're focused on business. Um, maybe they're focused on career. Maybe they're focused on da 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 da. Maybe they are still in love with their ex, but it's that relationship isn't going to work. Well, men are not like women. Women, you might sit at home and cry about your ex because you're not over him. Men will not be over their ex and take their happy asses right out there into the dating pool and break other women's heart because they're tied up with some other woman, and they will feel no ways about it. Okay, I'm gonna just give you the real. I'm gonna just give you the real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. They do it all the time. They might have attachment issues. They might have just been divorced or divorced for a while. They may have resigned in their head, I'm never getting married again. I'm never going to be in an exclusive relationship again because I was married for 10 years and I want to be free. I was married for 20 years. I never want to do this again. But I want to have fun. I want to do this. I want to experience this. I want to go on dates. I want to get feminine energy. So what I'm saying is that every man that you go on a date with, in fact, I would propose that probably 90% or more will not commit to you. They won't do it. They're there to get something from you, but if what you want from them is a real true commitment, you'll be disappointed because they don't have that to offer. Even if they tell you they do, that may not be what's really the real deal. Okay, you don't have to you know argue with them about what they're saying. Just take it in and make a mental note of it. But it's highly likely that the majority of men you encounter in the wild are not commitment focused, and they're not necessarily ready to settle down. How many women do men date before they finally propose to one? Think about it. Seriously, how many women do you think that they date before they propose to one? Hundreds? Dozens? Thousands? You know, many. And so it's more likely that you're going to be one of the hundreds that he dated than to be the one that he proposes to, if he ever does at all. And so what I encourage you while they're on there sowing oats wild, I'm going to just be out here slinging my peen from this coast to that coast, or I'm trying to slang my peen from this coast to that coast. And internationally, I want to slang international peen too. What I'm saying is that while they're on that quest to do just that, you need to run their pockets while they're doing it. That's what I'm saying, quite frankly. That's what I'm saying, quite frankly and directly. They don't have commitment to give you. They have no intention of giving you commitment. I'm not saying all men don't. Keep in mind, I did reserve that 10% chance. Okay, so I didn't say 100%. I said the majority, overwhelming. They're just out randomly having experiences. So while they're out here on the quest for these experiences, they want your time, they want your attention, they want your affection, they want your beauty, they want your youth. So don't give that away without having anything to show for it besides some meals that you cannot take a meal to the bank. Hey, Mocha Mommy, and hello all. Um, I think all my subscribers are subscribed to Mocha Mommy, but if you have not checked out Mocha Mommy's channel, please go over there and get her wisdom. I I'm it's just always so refreshing to go over there and just see what she's talking about. It's always just something I would have never either. Sometimes it's just a lot of things I would never think about or didn't notice, or she's just in a different lane from me. And so I just love that fresh perspective. I really do. So subscribe to Milk Mommy. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So while they're on this quest of having these experiences, and what they value is time, attention, youth, beauty, and your feminine essence, you need to determine what you value. Because if you're hyper focused on thinking every single one of these guys is the one, can you imagine, even if you just date 10 guys and 9 of them have no intentions, or like they're not going to be the ones to marry you, but every single time you fully invested, that's like 9 heartbreaks. You see what I'm saying? If you like think, oh, he's the one. He says he wants a committed relationship. I'm going to give every da 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 and bust it wide open. Oh, this one. Okay, now that one. Okay, now that one. Okay, now that one. And so all you're collecting is you're just kind of like collecting experiences and heartbreak and baggage, but you're not collecting anything that can help you get to the next level. Now, another concept that I talk about on my channel is leveling up as far as you can go. Um, I believe in variety. I'm not promoting delusion, but I do promote variety, and I do think that there is validity in variety. I do not think that there is a specific prototype of woman that's going to get to the bag, or a prototype of woman that's going to um, you have to be like this. You have to be 110 pounds, and you have to have a bust down that's 30 inches, and you have to wear designer handbags, and you have to da 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 ding da da. I don't really believe that, just because even where I am in an extremely affluent area, I see a variety of women winning. I really do. Um, so what you have to do is work with what you have and make what you have the best you can. Everybody's not going to be 110 pounds. Everybody's bone structure is not even set up to handle a weight of 110 pounds, a size 2, a size 0. So that can't be the goal. If that's the goal, you won't really level up. You won't be committed to the level up because your goal is unattainable. So you have to really be very honest. Honest isn't the word I'm looking for. You have to kind of just really be aware of your resources, be aware of the blank palette, the blank slate, you know, with all the makeup off and all the waist trainer off and all that stuff off. What are you working with here? Okay, what are you working with? Be very aware of what you're working with. Be aware of your background. Be aware of um, your education level. Be aware of your sophistication level, because you need to know where you're starting from, and you need to be very sober and clear-minded about what's already here, what you got today. You can always level up, but you got to kind of know, what are you working with. When you're very honest about what you're working with, then you can know where it is that you're going. Even if you can't envision the absolute end goal, you might just be able to envision the very next step or the very next two or three steps. And that's okay too, as long as you know in what direction you're going. Okay. So, a concept that I believe in over here is to level up as far as you can go. So, for example, when I started this channel, I was dating a lot of like software engineers. Uh, I dated a lot of software engineers. I'm trying to think of like what other like types of guys I dated. I dated a different kind of engineer. I think he was like a geology, like oil and gas engineer. Worked for like a big oil company. Um, that level of guy. And at the time, that was a level up from where I was. And since then I've gone up, and since then, I've noticed I do really well with business owners. I do well with men who have successful businesses, C-suite executives, CEOs, that kind of things. Guys that are in investments, not like super heavy, but like maybe they have a very profitable real estate portfolio, or maybe you know, um, maybe they're making money from investments. Like their money is doing something to work for them. And so now I just find that that's just mostly what I attract, are like C-suite level executives and above. So what I'm saying is that you got to like just keep leveling up, because what I always knew, or what I found out very quickly on this journey, is that I need certain things to get to the next level. Like, I feel like I've shared with you guys on this channel, I might have wanted to go to, oh, I remember. I can give you a specific example. I remember telling you ladies, I like went out one night to this bar, and it was super, super fluent. And like I looked cute, but I felt kind of out of place there. I felt kind of out of place there. And so I've always said, I'm going to get certain things that will help me level up to the next level, because I can get something that's going to help me feel more confident in this space from this person. This guy who's a software engineer might buy me cologne, which a lot of it, like, I don't know, my cologne lasts me for like years, my perfumes. So I might get a fragrance that is my signature scent, so that now when I'm navigating in these other spaces, I have this universally, just wowing scent that everybody wants to know what I'm wearing, and it pulls people in. Um, so I've always thought about things like that. What is something that I can get from this situation that can help me in the next situation up from here? What is something that I can get from this situation that can help me for the next situation where I'm going? Because I don't want to stay right here. I'm not quite satisfied here. I'm not here to tell you where you're going to be satisfied. This is me speaking to you, ladies. I'm not here to tell you where you're going to be satisfied. You know where you're going to be satisfied. You'll have that feeling like, I'm good right here. This feels so good and so natural. I have arrived, you know. And that might be a man, that might be a whatever relationship, or just a station in life. I'm not really, I right now, I'm not at my end goal. I am well on my way, but I'm not there yet. So how my mind works is, what can I get from this situation that's going to help me in the next situation? So let me give you a concrete example. So last or one of my lives ago, here in the recent past, I was telling you ladies that I was going to join a golf association and I was going to renew my membership to the symphony orchestra. Um, and in fact, I wanted to go live last night, but I was sleepy. So with my golf membership, okay, so I went out with this guy, and it was kind of like a late birthday gift, but he ended up giving me a wad of cash. And could I have spent it on, when you don't have a job for your money, you just kind of spend it and you really don't have anything to show for it. You don't really have, like, what did I do with that money? Did I pay my car payment? I don't know. Did I pay insurance? Did I pay this bill or that bill? I would say this, so that your level up feels complete, so that your level up feels tangible until you have all bills paid. I would say this: try to pay your everyday, day to day bills with money that you make yourself, because that money, it's always money going in, money going out, right? And you don't know, you paid your bills, but there's like, yeah, you have another month of rent or you have another month of car insurance, but there's nothing tangible about that. So going out with a guy and then he pays your car note and then he's gone, you still have more car notes in the future. You don't have anything. You want something that will outlast that relationship. Okay, you want something, get something tangible, because trust me, ladies, if he does you dirty, if he ghosts you, if he mistreats you in any type of way, if he's rude, or if he whatever, you like him, you start to like him and he moves on to the next one. If you have something tangible from that relationship that endures past him, it makes it easier to swallow the discomfort of his parting. It makes it easier to deal with a lot of things when you have something tangible that will last beyond that relationship. So I'll talk about a few things that you can get that can outlast him, outlast the little dating fling relationship, whatever you got going on. His infatuation, because most guys, if they're just in it for whatever do, they're not going to last past like 3 dates. They start to fizzle out like around 3 dates. Sometimes sooner, they can go a little longer. It just depends on how much they like you. But if they're just trying to get something from you and you don't release it within 3 dates, if they're really into that thing, they're going to be gone. But I'll say this: if you're really attractive, really alluring, really kind of just hard, just, I don't know, just like that candy that they just, I got to have it. I'm not going to commit to her. I'm not going to like wait too long, but I really, really want it because she's not just giving it to me easily. She's making me work. They'll be more motivated to like do stuff for you because they think it's going to help them get to that thing. Maybe it is in the long run, but you're playing in your mind. You don't disclose this to him. You're playing the long game. In his mind, he's playing the instant gratification game. Allow him to think that. Allow him to have his short game, and you keep your long game in mind, because that will separate the ones who are truly genuinely interested in you and are willing to wait and are willing to keep investing until they get to the point where they can have you and be with you in whatever way that looks, or if they're going to be out in 3 dates. But regardless, you need to be thinking about, keep your mind focused on an asset that will endure him. If he lasts beyond that, all the better. But if he goes, which 9 out of 10 will, you will have something that will endure him. So those are things like dip, funds that pay dividends. Okay, those are always great, because when you get that quarterly statement, even if it's a couple of dollars, isn't it amazing to have an asset that pays you and you bought it with money from some guy that you don't even remember his name? You don't even remember his name. You knew you dated him last summer and you kind of liked him, but he disappeared or whatever. But you still have this stock in Target that is paying you dividends quarterly, or Disney that's paying you dividends, or some mutual fund that's paying you dividends. Those are always amazing. If you think in your mind, every time I get money from a man, or if I get something from a man that I can liquidate and turn into cash, I'm going to save some money, I'm going to invest some money, and I'll enjoy a little bit of money. But I'll say this with the enjoyment: try to use the enjoyment on something that will level you up to the next one, like lashes, eyebrows, teeth whitening, a facial. That's fun, but it's also leveling you up for the next one. You see what I'm saying? A membership somewhere. Okay, so dividends, mutual funds, um, a membership. So when I'm talking about these memberships, I'm talking about memberships that are a year. So you don't want him to get you a health club membership for like 1 month. No. If you are going to buy a membership, make sure the membership is at least 1 year long. That could be a membership to a golf association, a private club. It could be to an elite gym. As long as he doesn't go there, if he goes to that gym, then don't do it. But if you can get a gym membership in your area that he doesn't go to, get that gym membership. But make sure you get it for a full year. It could be if you have an art museum in your area, it could be a membership to some type of society that supports the museum. So you have to check your city and see what you have in your city. But a lot of times there are private societies that are a part of like the museum that supports the museum. And so these people give a membership for the year. That membership is to support the museum. But in that membership, they get to meet artists that are coming in town. They get to go on private viewings of the art before the general population does. They have private receptions. They have private fundraising events. They have galas, etc., etc. This is going to put you in the room with a different caliber of people. You might have like an equestrian center that you can get a membership to. You might have, um, you might be able to get like box seats to your home games at your preferred sport, like hockey or baseball. Those are very expensive, but you never know. You never know. You might be able to get season tickets, especially if you're dating a man that travels a lot. Be like, hey, you travel so much. I really like insert team. And I would love season tickets for like me and my friend or me and my mom or like whoever to go. And that could be something that you have, and you'll have that for the entire season. But make sure that they're like the box seats, not like the general, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't think it would be worth it. If you can't be inside like a private box, I wouldn't do it. Um, Let me think of any other types of memberships that would be helpful. A country club membership, and then they have like these social groups too. Check your city out. They have these social groups too where um, you go to these, like they'll just have like private dining, or they have a private bar. It's just like a social club, but you need to pay to be there. That would be another helpful membership to get if you can get it for a full year. So think about memberships. Now, I wouldn't be random with the memberships. You need to have a overall mission outside of this level up stuff, like the tangible, like the logistics of it all. Outside, you just need to have like, where are you going? Like I said, you need to know what you have, what you're working with, and like what are you trying to do with what you have to level yourself up to the next step. Um, you need to know where you're going, because when you know where you're going, you know what your mission is, you know what you're trying to achieve, then it's easy to think about, well, what membership will be most helpful for me with what I'm trying to do. um if you're trying to advance your career, It might be a professional membership to a professional association. You see what I mean? If you are trying to become a public speaker, it might be a membership or it might be a publicist that you get paid for to have a publicist on retainer for a full year. So I'm just saying all this. You need to know where are you going so that you can see what it is that you need to get from these guys that's going to help you level up to the next step. Something that will endure and last past him. Speaking of education, it might be a certification. And guys, you would be surprised how happy a man would be to pay for something educational. And the certificates are great for older women, especially older women who are finished with college, da 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 da. But you know what? You're looking like, you know what? I could be making a couple extra 10,000. I could be making more money in my field. I could have more respect. I could, you know, when I go in for my raise next year, I'm going to put myself in a better position to get that raise because I have been doing professional development. I have some new certifications in my field. You would be surprised how happy a man would be to pay for education. So if you're trying to get to the next level in your career, look and see what educational opportunities are, how much they cost, so that you can already have these things ready to go because you need to be able to strike while the iron is hot. If you have an opportunity, because these things come up organically, a lot of women are like, well, how do I ask for money? How do I ask for money? Listen, when you look good and you look irresistible, it's gonna come up eventually, some way, shape, or form. But if you gotta have your eyes open and your ears open, and you gotta be ready with your number for when the opportunity comes up. It could be in casual conversation. It could be because he brings it up because he's trying to impress you, because he's trying to get to the next step. He's trying to get what he wants. So he's trying to impress you. So you got to be ready with these things. Oh, well, I really need to get this advanced software certification. My job, they're about to get this, new software next year. And I want to just, be on the forefront of that with my company. And oh my gosh, like the certificate is a little pricey, but I know it's totally worth it. And watch him be like, well, how much is it? Okay. When you want to get started, you have to have these things ready to go. Look at education opportunities, look at certifications, look at professional organizations that you might want to join. Stocks. Well, not, I'm going to say dividend paying assets. I'm not going to really say stocks because I'm not like, yeah, the individual stock game is in, but mutual funds, things like that pay dividends, stocks that pay dividends, those kinds of things. That's what you want to look at. Real estate, if you can get it. But I would say, like, unless you really need a car, I would kind of steer away from that, unless you really need one. Unless you really need one. You might need some tires on your car, though. In maintenance, hey, if anything happens with your car while y'all are actively dating, that's an unwritten rule that he's going to take care of, especially if you're driving your car to meet him anywhere. Okay. So, so yeah, think about those things. Those things are going to come up organically. I wanted to talk about that first before I really talked about some of the like more fashion and beauty things, although those those kind of count too. Those kind of count too. Especially, you could have some expensive foundation or a nice fragrance last you for quite a while, especially the fragrances. If, for example, you take your inventory and you know what you're working with and you know the weakest point on your whole level up journey is fashion, then it would make sense for that particular person to get some quality pieces, some timeless pieces and some pieces with resale value that from that relationship. Absolutely. It would make sense because when you have the right clothes and you feel comfortable and confident and you've gone out to the places that you want to be, you've gone to certain social clubs, you've gone to certain restaurants, you've gone to certain professional settings, and you see what people are wearing, or you have a vision in your mind of like, oh, I would feel so much more comfortable in this area if, when I have X, Y, and Z, then you're very clear on where you're going. And in that case, it makes sense to, hey, you know what? I'm going to focus on getting a few pieces for my wardrobe in this process, or a nice bag, a nice classic bag that's not trendy. Don't get anything trendy. Don't get anything that's going to go out of style the next year. Get something classic and enduring that will last beyond him. Something, something classy, something elegant, something that makes sense for where you're going. If you're into the golf, it could be golf clubs. A nice set of golf clubs can run you a pretty penny and will definitely last beyond a simple dating relationship, a quick dating relationship. So some of the things that don't last are like dates, dinners, and trips. I mean, you'll always have those memories, but do you want the memories or do you want something tangible in your hands? Do you want something that's producing a report, notification in your email that says dividend statement, quarterly dividend statement from XYZ fund? And you're getting those emails and you don't even, the guy is like long gone in the past. Now, sometimes when you get money from one thing, if you can get more money, like let's say you do need the tires and you inflate the price, you buy the tires, but you have extra money. Put that extra money in the investment. You see the strategy there? So that way, when he's long gone and now those tires are run down the road, you still have those quarterly statements coming in with consistency. You're getting paid dividends plus you have the asset. Any questions, ladies, before I let you go? Any questions? The most important thing in this process is the mindset. That's the most important thing. So when I got my wad of cash, I held on to it for a little while because I was like, I wasn't expecting this money. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And so I had to kind of sit down and kind of take stock to remember what do I need to do now? I was like, oh yeah, this membership is due. Oh, and I want to try this other thing. I want to try this golf thing. Oh yeah, that's right. So this makes sense for me to put the money in there and then use some money for um pay down some debt and use some money to put in my investments. Because otherwise you just kind of like, this is especially a forewarning for the younger ladies. Sometimes the money is coming fast and sometimes the money comes in unexpected, like windfalls. Um or it's just like money that you didn't necessarily have to put in effort for that time. Now there's accumulation of effort, but for that one thing, it's like you really didn't have to do that much besides look cute and and you got all this money. It's hard. It's easy for that kind of money to leave your hands and leave your possession without you really knowing what happened to it. You're like, I had, $500. Like, I don't know what I did over the weekend. But if you think about it, if you go to brunch with your friends and you go to Sephora or you go get your nails done, that's $500. That's just gone up in air, gone up in smoke. Because you just had the money, you're just spending the money. Well, I had the money came in, it's coming so fast. you didn't have a plan for the money, so the money just gets spent um, without much thought, without much, So stop, hold on to the money until you can sit down and get a piece of paper and map out every dollar. Okay? So like stop and think and then allocate the dollars according to your overall level up plan. Otherwise, it's like a feeling when you're like, I know I got like 2,000 extra dollars last month, but like what did I do with it? Where is it now? I don't even remember. Okay. Um I'm trying to think if there's anything else to add to that story. That's pretty much the main message I wanted to give y'all. Think about how you're going to plan out this money, and there could be three major categories. You could have some to have a little bit of fun with, save some money, and hopefully you save it in a way that's not so quickly liquid, like maybe like a CD. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more you have to put in a little bit more effort to liquidate a CD than just your savings account. A savings account almost is like a checking account these days. It's so easy to transfer that money over. So when you do your savings, try to save in a way that's a little bit harder to liquidate, but of course you can liquidate it if you need to. So savings, and investing, and then level up project. What level up project are you working on? Is it orthodontics? Is it um social climbing? Is it educational? Where are you going? How can you look, try to look in a year and then look back and you have this thing a year from now. You met this guy, y'all got on a few dates. He's so into you. What can you have a year from that point and you look back and you're like, oh my, I'm so glad I got this thing. If it can't last a year, rethink it. you know, Go back to the drawing board if it's not going to last a year, at least a year. A year from now, what can you look back and be like, oh, I'm so glad I got this thing. I'm so glad I have this asset. I'm so glad I have this insert, fill in the blank. That's the question you have to ask yourself when you're figuring out how to invest this money. Where are you going to put this money? What are you going to buy? What will help with your level up? Because while you might be with an account manager today that can give you 200 bucks, he doesn't have that much, you know, such and such happened to your car and, you know, it's going to cost 200. So you tell him you need 400. He gives you the 400. You spend 200 to get your car fixed. And then you got this $200. What are you going to do with it? Who is his boss? Who owns his company? Like, what do those women look like? What do those women have? And where do those women spend their time? How can you use that $200 to put yourself in the environment and in the level that his boss, the account manager's boss, is at? That will guide you where you need to spend the $200. And also your own personal goal, like where it is that you're going. You spend the money like on your light bill? You could, especially if your lights is off. But please don't let your lights go off. Like, please don't do that. You know, the best level up is a level up that is all extra. You know what I mean? And not like for survival, but for the actual pure level up. If you are in survival mode, you really can't level up. So you have to be stable enough to have all your bases covered and have a foundation. Because if you don't have a solid foundation, you don't have nothing to launch from. You have nothing to build upon. So the foundation is like your basics. Assuming your basics are covered, you're going to think about, how can I use this $200 to get me to his boss? And then once you're dating the team manager, who is his boss? Oh, that's the vice president of marketing. Where do those ladies hang out? How do those ladies dress? Where do they go? What memberships do they have? What organizations are they in? Where do they do sporting events? Where do they brunch? Where do they lunch? Where do they shop? And then when you get the $500 from the sales manager, team manager, how can you use that $500 to get to the vice president of marketing circle? And so on and so forth. You get the point. That's the strategic focus of the level up. So backing track to this cash that I got like maybe a week ago, it's already paying. Okay, so with this golf membership, I've already gotten invited to um a week, like a party next month, from some woman that's in the group that lives in like the third richest area in my area, like within my metropolitan area. It's like the third richest community. I live in the second richest community. Well, I don't know. It's debatable. I think the reason why our community is not like, it's probably is the richest, but part of the reason why it's not is because we do have like some multifamily units, and there's another town that doesn't have any, like, it's all single family. So when you have all single family, of course the income is going to be higher. And we have a few multifamily units, which makes us not the richest in this area. But anyway, that's debatable. I mean, yeah, you can say first, you can say second. Either way it goes, yada yada yada. This lady lives in the third wealthiest area, and I've been invited to her home because I'm in this association. And so would I have been getting this invitation any other way? No. Would I have ever met this lady had I not joined this golf association? No, I would never have met this lady. I mean, where was I going to meet her? I don't know. I don't know that our paths would cross. And the level of people that I'm going to meet, if I'm able to go to this party, hopefully I can make it. But even if I don't make this, there are other events. There's other opportunities. Um, even if when I go, I'm going to be exposed to a totally different next level group of people that further solidifies where I am, and further validates that I belong. I mean, I have an expansive network of acquaintances, new friends, associates, and whatnot in this level. And it should be fun too. It's always nice to have a good time. So I say that, you know, I, I, I felt very assured that that was a very good purchase. That was an excellent purchase on my behalf. I mean, and I hemmed and hawed about it because it wasn't cheap, but I was like, yeah, why not? Let me do it. I think this makes sense for where I'm going. It makes sense for what I'm doing right now. I'm focused on golf right now. So, yes, let me join this association. That's what I'm focused on right now. And the next step after that is a lot of these private tournaments. I mean, and if you can get on the golf course with affluent men, you have 3 hours of their undivided attention. Well, I mean, they're paying attention to the golf, but these guys are not on their phones. They're not looking at other women. They're not distracted. It's you, the golf cart, that, it's very little distraction. So that's why people talk about golf being able to create such strong relationships, because it's one of the few places left in the world where people actually talk to one another. People are polite to one another because there's a whole intricate, um, there's all this golf etiquette. Being kind and being courteous is part of the game. So it was an excellent purchase. So I would like for you to relate that to your life and what it is that you're trying to do, and think about those opportunities. Think about where you are going and what is the next logical next step on your level up. What is the next step for you? If you have a business, it might be a piece of equipment for your business. It might be a software but make sure that you get 1 year subscription to the software, and make sure that you're not buying something just to be spending the money. Like, well, let me just spend it on this and let me see. Really know what you need and what's going to be a game changer for you. It should be something that you've been eyeing for a long while. So, for example, like my eyebrows will last me for 1 year. I got this technique where part of it lasts for a year and then part of it lasts for 3 years. So probably when the year part fades away, I'll probably just go and get this other technique done, the ombre, and just have it for the rest of that time. So I'm looking at 2 additional years of having my eyebrows done. Well, this came from my m- former main guy, that I got a pile of cash, and I decided I had been, it was on my vision board. I want to get my eyebrows done. I get complimented on my eyebrows every now and then. It's one less thing that I have to do because my eyebrows are just always done. So it saves me time every day. Saves me time every day. My eyebrows are always done. So this is something cosmetic that is going to last for a while. So, could you get lip filler? Sure, but that's not going to last you a year. That's not really like crucial to your level up, depending on what you're doing. But I'm gonna bet that lip filler is not crucial to your level up. I mean, you can live without it, and it doesn't last a year. Any type of fillers don't last a year. So think about things that will last a long time. All right, ladies, thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions about this topic, please put it in the comment section. Um, yeah, if you have any questions, comments, additional ideas, thoughts, put it in the comment section. I would so appreciate it. If you're still yet to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel. Unknown, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised about Black women in lip fillers. I mean, I would see a woman and I would think her lips are perfectly full enough, and she would just go overboard. I don't know why, but you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. And maybe that's also like my little area of town too. It may just be a thing here. Where I think her lips are full enough, but she'll just feel like she just needs extra. So anyway, y'all, please subscribe, share the video, like the video, and I will talk to you lovely, lovely ladies very, very soon. Best wishes as you continue on your level up journey. Peace and love.